Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Wa alhamdulillah. So, not to go deep into the discussion, man, because I got a limited amount of time. But, basically, somebody, want a little bit more from the Quran about things that's talking about how Muslims can have the potential to mislead other Muslims, right, from the Quran, and how to deal with it and what's going to go on with them, right? And, companionship and who we choosing as leaders and things like that. So, a beautiful surah, Surah Luqman, Surah 31. Some beautiful points in it, right? So, look at this right here. So, of course, Alif Lam Mim. Alif Lam Mim, right? These are the verses of the book that's rich and full of wisdom. It's rich in wisdom, right? There's more than enough wisdom in this book, right? Enough to go around for everybody. This book is rich and full of wisdom. The Quran is, okay? It's a guide and a mercy for the al-muhsinun. Sometimes they'll translate that as good doers. But when you know the three levels of Islam, first level, entry level, Muslim. Second level, mu'min, is the one who has the right aqidah and the right belief systems in their speech and in their actions, right? In their heart and on their limbs. They have the correct iman. That's what a mu'min is. The next level is a muslim, the ones who have ihsan, and they live their lives, right? They live their lives in worship, where they live their lives where some of the recommendation is, if you standing up for prayer, in one example, you got to stand up in prayer like you could see Allah. And then when you know you can't see Allah, then you stay clear of the understanding that Allah sees you, which is a high level of taqwa, being extremely conscious and aware of Allah, more than a fear. More than a fear. Like, one example I used to use, with certain people in classrooms, that to get them to understand that. Some of us, some people had strict parents, right? Your parents say, don't go out, don't do this. But you fear your parents. But you might still sneak out of the house. That fear isn't going to stop you from doing wrong. So a lot of Muslims, they fear Allah, but that fear doesn't stop them from doing wrong, because they're either willing to suffer the consequences of it, or their level of taqwa, their awareness of Allah, is so low that they just blinded by their own ignorance. Okay? So a Muslim is a one where that taqwa, that consciousness of that Allah is looking at me, is going to stop them from doing certain things. Even certain things that's permissible to do, they won't even do certain permissible things. Like, let's say for instance, watching some TV, some permissible TV. They won't even watch permissible TV because they would rather work on memorizing the Quran, work on studying the Sunnah of Rasulullah. So sometimes they give up permissible things for permissible things that's better. This is some of the things that describe a Muslim. So, not saying that the Quran ain't going to guide, there's not guidance for other people, but when you understand Iman and certain levels of it, you'll understand this guidance and mercy for the Muslim is going to be different. Because a Muslim can read the Quran We're talking about levels of Islam. The Muslim, the Mu'min, and the Muslim. A Muslim may read the Quran and tell themselves, oh, well, the Quran means this. This isn't talking about Muslims. It's talking about the Jews and the Christians and the Sabians, right? But it's really talking about the Muslims. And then they may base the way that they move and the way they live off of misinterpretation of the Quran. That's not something that's going to happen with a Muslim. You understand? Like for instance this. I've started back fasting on Mondays and Thursdays. And then some days I start the day off fasting. And then I may break my fast early. In the afternoon I may break it around 3. But my point in this is, the days that I'm fasting, my mind and my body craves more deen. You understand? Like something in me makes me want to start listening to the Quran being recited. Just naturally, like my body will call out for it. Just like when you eat healthy and you do it consistently. Or when you exercise. When you exercise consistently, your body will start calling for fruits and vegetables. Salads. It'll all come hand in hand. But when you eat a junk food diet, just like me, when I notice when I'm not eating good, my body will call for more junk. Right? So, in Islam, like it say, one good deed leads to 2 good deeds. To more good deeds. One bad deed leads to more bad deeds. So when you're on the level of a Muslim, they're going to get a different guide and a different mercy from the Quran. They're going to carry their life different because their level of taqwa is so high. Right? So it goes on to say, those who establish salah, pay zakat, and sadaqah, and have sure faith in the hereafter, right? Not praying to be seen, praying to be in the ranks, invalidating your salats, invalidating your zakat. We talking about really establishing salah and khushu in your home and otherwise. Due to time, we're not even going to get into like define and establish. Okay? So, it continues and says, it is they who are truly guided by their Rabb, by their Lord, right? And it is they who will be successful. Now look at this. So now it's pointing out the good quality, the Muslim. Everything is established in a manner where Allah Azza wa Jal is going to accept what they're doing. There's no bid'ah, there's no deviation, and it's fisi bilillah first. Okay? Now it comes into the next category of Muslims. Look what it says. But there are some people, some Muslims, that employ theatrics. They get to putting on a show. Right? They get to beautifying their performance. They real good at playing Muslim. They real good at playing Imam. They real good at turning Jumu'ah into a show. But look what it says though. Only to lead others away from Allah's way without any knowledge. So they employ theatrics. We're here to teach the people. We're here to be the guiders of the people. But they don't even have no knowledge. But they use theatrics. They putting on such a beautiful show that you buy into the theatrics, and they really taking your deen away from you. They really leading you away. There's okay. So, and I was talking to another Muslim about this, right? Because I pay attention to a lot of stuff. So, when they had what was called the Black Panther Party, okay, it basically was showing how they took people from the federal penitentiary and started grooming them from the federal penitentiary so that they can get a release. And then their job is to infiltrate this organization, like the Black Panthers. And then they help them position themselves to become one of the top people in the ranks of the Black Panther Party, pushing their agenda. Then they had another organization who's pushing the same agenda as the Black Panther Party, but they're not going to carry any guns. But the person who's at the top of that is also an FBI informant pushing their agenda. So what they did was, by these people at the top on both sides of these parties, have them go at each other, but they supposed to have the same agenda. So what it led to is black organization versus black organization, to where they was destroying each other for the man, under the guise of, we're trying to save our people. I'm mentioning that because I've been paying attention to two Islamic groups for several years. They both claim that they follow the best 3 generations of Muslims. Okay. But they use different titles. They both claim to be the new saviors of the African American Muslims. Okay? But when you look at some of the people who are at the top of these organizations, they're people who come from a federal institution. And they're fighting each other, but what you will notice is they don't have any real foundational Islamic knowledge. Like I said in a few videos ago, it's something about some of these particular groups that's almost government agency-ish. Right? It's almost government agency-ish. And the thing is, no matter which group you cling to fanatically, both of them lead to some levels of confusion. And then both groups call people away from the people that they should really be learning from. So when I read things like this, but they both full of theatrics. You get caught up in the theater of it all, to not even notice that you're really not even getting any foundational practical teachings of Islam. You're getting rhetoric. You're learning how to parrot. You're learning how to speak certain principles but not apply them, because there's no real knowledge behind it. Like one from one particular group, he thought he had a very foundational statement against the other one, talking about these people think that one person can be the Jama'ah amongst a group. That's not even possible, because they don't understand what Jama'ah is. But he's an individual that doesn't even understand, because what that's referring to, if you're in a group and it's 90 people, like the person who I'm talking to, if it's 90 people in the room, 90 Muslims, and all 90 Muslims agree that you're supposed to make salah standing on your head, that's Jama'ah. That's majority of the group. But one person say, no, you're supposed to make salah like this in accordance with the Quran and Sunnah. That one person is part of the Jama'ah, because he's up on the teaching, the correct teaching, that the group of people that follow the sunnah is supposed to be on. Just because these 90 people say in a group, and that makes them the majority versus the one, we all agree you're supposed to pray on your head, don't mean you're supposed to bow down and pray on your head. But this person is a leader of this particular group. People follow this person from this particular group. And they don't even understand basic principles. But they use a lot of theatrics. But then they point out the theatrics of the other. Oh, they always had these kafirs on. They always try to look like sheikhs. They put sheikhs on their name and they're not. But y'all do the exact same thing. Almost government agency-ish. And then they both call from the people that you really should be listening to. When in reality, they are leading people astray, but they is giving them some good. They might teach you some good aspects of the religion, but at the same time, while they giving you some good aspects of the religion, they telling you that these teachings is preparing you and teaching you how to hate other Muslims that's exactly like you. You can't salam them because of this masjid. You can't salam them because they watched the video of this person on YouTube. See what I'm saying? That's leading people astray. That's leading people astray. To where now, with enough time for it to go on, the Muslims have a gang banging mentality. Now another group who's fed up with it and feel like they got their knowledge up to a level, and now they banging on y'all, and y'all nowhere to be found when they running upside your head. You see what I'm saying? Real government agency-ish. But, like the Quran says, but there are some, they just full of theatrics to lead people away from Allah's path. And they don't even have any knowledge. And they really only making a mockery of knowledge, of the deen, of what the Muslim is supposed to be doing. You see, they really just making a mockery. You know how the FBI may go find somebody who worked with them and cooperated with them before, and now they got them in prison. We'll give you an early release, but we want to put you in a masjid, and then we want you to start supplying Muslims with dope. And we're going to make you look like this big front man, this big drug dealer. But your move is to distract the Muslims with dope selling and smoking weed and doing this and that. Your job is to corrupt the Muslims. And then they'll put some big beard, goofy, half illiterate individual in the masjid to call all the Muslims to selling dope. And then when they put dope in these people's hands, they get busted. And then they get to stay out, but they getting Muslims locked up. They getting Muslims back popping pills. You see what I'm saying? And then the FBI, the government, is behind it the whole time. This is what it's talking about in this Quran. And then they use theatrics. They really calling you the drug dealing, but they saying stuff. Well, you know, as long as we got faith in Allah, everything's going to be fine. As long as you keep up your salats, Allah's going to allow us to get away with this drug dealing, knowing that they know you going to get busted with the dope that they put in your hands that the FBI gave them to give to you. Really leading you away from the deen. These individuals, because they so poop butt respectfully, and they left Muslim countries to come over here and chase money, and they have a certain view of black people, to see a black person with some knowledge stings them. So they'll find some of the most downtrodden ones possible to keep everybody else dumbed down. They don't even have no real knowledge, but they trying to be the teachers, the leaders, and invalidate your whole deen if it mean them looking like something. They don't care. They don't care how they misleading you. They don't care what type of bid'ah you on. They don't care what type of deviation you on. It don't matter as long as they look like they some type of pillar in the community. I'm the imam. I own this masjid. I pay this. I picked this one. I'm the teacher of these. I'm going to elevate this one and elevate that one. And you don't got no knowledge and they don't either. But it's full of theatrics. Get you up on the minbar and y'all be on the minbar talking about, like a Christian preacher be, and Allah says in his book, theatrics. And ain't even giving nobody any real deen. It talk about it right here. Allah Azza wa Jal is putting the Rasul up on these type of people. And it's for us when we read to come along and see these type of people. Look what else it say. Right? They don't have any real knowledge and they really only making a mockery of the deen and knowledge. Right? They will suffer a humiliating punishment whenever our wahi, whenever the revelations are recited to them, Quran and the hikmah, which I'm going to refer to as hadith, they turn away in arrogance as if they never heard it. Brother, y'all can't continue to do this. You invalidating your deen. They just act like you never said a single word to them. You can show them the Quran ayats. You can show them the hadith. You can show them all 100% clear-cut dalil. And you might as well have never said anything to them. Why? Because they're going to continue with the theatrics. Trying to position themselves to teach people how to run around here with no knowledge and be teachers. But they full of theatrics. I got the look. I got the adab. I got the adab. The way we say stuff. They ain't got the adab, right? I got the adab of the Muslim. I got the adab of the Muslim. You know what I'm saying? Saleh Solo Sulahi taught me. That's how they sound. And then they let somebody put them in front of people. But this is how they end up making mockery. So look what it says though. They turn away in arrogance as if they never heard what you said or what you showed them, as if there's deafness in their ear. It don't even penetrate. Almost to the point where your lips just moving and they never heard a sound. They just see your lips moving. But it makes it clear they doing it out of arrogance, kibr. That's what's in their heart. The corruptness that's in their heart making them turn away from it. But this is part of that humiliating punishment. Because they really making an imbecile out of themselves. But look what it say though. So again, the sarcasm. So give them good news. Give them glad tidings, O Prophet, of a painful punishment. Let me explain to y'all how sarcasm where you really see it. Let's say you was a child and you did some things in school and they called your parents. And then when you get on the phone with your parent after your parents listen to the teacher or the principal or any situation where you know you're going to have to deal with your parent. And then when your parent get on the phone and be like, I got some good news for you. Now it's confusing. Okay, I thought I was in trouble. No, I got some good news for you. And you be like, okay, what's the good news? When I get you home, when I get a hold of you, I'm going to put some belt on your booty in ways that you couldn't even imagine. I'm going to put you on punishment. I'm going to ground you in ways that you never could imagine. See, it's not good news, is it? That's the sarcasm. Give them the good news because they so proud of themselves. They so full of themselves. They really think they somebody. So give them the good news. When you come across these type of people, Muslim and non-Muslim, give them the good news that Allah is going to give them some type of punishments that's going to be painful. It might be painful to your heart. It might be painful to your body. It might be painful to your deen to where you're losing it but think you own it. It's talking about it right here in Surah Al-Luqman. There's some of them just out there, man, they full of theatrics. They putting on a show. Some people getting caught up in the show of it, the entertainment of it, feeling like they're an entertainer. This ain't no movie. This ain't for play. And in reality, all they doing is leading people astray because they don't even have no real knowledge. They actually make a mockery out of real knowledge and real deen. Like I said, you have some people, they're going to make dua. Not saying that just because a Muslim is a criminal, that dua shouldn't be made for them. But if some Muslim, because you have Islam, you have Sharia based laws. If some Muslim go around and be stealing from other Muslims, because some people know a punishment of getting your hand chopped off. Okay? They stealing from other Muslims. And it's clear that they stealing from other Muslims. So now they getting ready to get their hand cut off due to Sharia. And then we gonna make dua that they get away with it. Oh man, let's make dua for the brother that he don't get caught, that he can get off from all these Muslims he stole from. That's backwards, see. But the one who's going to the university, the one that's paying real zakat, the one who has established real salat, the ones who's trying to go and learn and uplift the community of his ignorance, they talk bad about that one. They uplift the criminal, and then they down and disrespect and destroy the honor of the non-criminal. But you can notice the two groups. You can see the two categories. Even if this group, even if they pray, this dude may beat a woman. He may take a pistol and beat a woman in the head. A non-Muslim woman that he possibly shouldn't even be even in a relationship with and got him pregnant. Oh man, let's make dua that the brother beat his case for getting caught red-handed pistol whipping a woman. But the one who's studying Sahih Bukhari, he can't get no duas. He get hate. This is backwards. But this is because individuals don't have any knowledge. And they'll swear up and down that that's deen that they on. This stuff go against the Sharia, man. This stuff go against the Sharia. But let's make dua that the brother beat the case, man, and let's all get our money together and put some money on his books so he can gamble and have Dorito chips. But this poor Muslim sister, or this sister who got her head beaten in by this dude with a pistol that got babies, where y'all gonna put some money together and go buy her a bottle of aspirin for her headaches? Where y'all gonna put y'all money together and go feed her kids? Help her pay a bill. Now we need to get some money together, man, for the Muslim brother so he can have chips and candy, a room full of chips and candy and Vaseline and baby powder. Not saying he don't deserve it, but what about for the downtrodden? They think this stuff is deen. because they full of theatrics, man. And they really only leading people away from Allah's true way. Yeah. and we could think of many more and many more. People can look at their own area, wherever you are, wherever you listening from. And you could be like, yeah, yeah. Allah's discussing this right here. So, give them the good news that Allah gonna catch up with you. You keep on with these theatrics. I got some good news for you. Allah gonna catch up with you. You keep playing. Y'all keep playing a role and misleading these people. Cloaked under, we trying to save the people, but in reality, when you take the cloak off, they trying to establish themselves as somebody to be viewed. Misguiding the people and don't even have no knowledge. And they trying to fool the people, man. So give them the good news. I got some good news for you. Allah gonna catch up with you. And may Allah protect us all from that. This ain't, man, playing with Allah's deen and this and what's going on. It ain't no joke, man. It ain't no joke. And we take it too lightly because we don't have taqwa the way that we supposed to. We refer to ourselves as mu'min because we may see the word believer in English and don't know if it's a general belief, I believe in Islam, or you really have true iman in your heart. You don't even know the pillars of Aqidah. You don't even know the pillars of iman. You still think Allah is everywhere and in every place. You still think Allah doesn't even exist in any type of place because it's impossible for Allah to be able to move. But He can create movement. It's impossible. It's no way heavenly possible for Allah to do any of these things because He created directions. That don't even sound right. And then you can't trace, and then they hit people. Well, give us an isnad to this, give us an isnad to that, to the Prophet. You can't trace none of that what you said to Allah or to His Prophet without trying to distort and over apply something to an ayat that you misunderstand. So you misunderstand it. Oh, Allah can hear, but Allah can't hear sounds. When Allah saying in the Quran, I heard the lady that came to you complaining about her husband. That's what Allah said. Oh yeah, but Allah heard it, but He couldn't have heard any sounds because His creation hears. So Allah has to hear without sound because in order to hear sounds, you got to have ears. And now y'all attributing the ear to Allah. Although Allah says clearly in the Quran, I heard when the woman came pleading to you. When people understand a Quran and know how to read it, when Allah tells the Rasul about your wives is playing games, plotting, one wife told the other wife this. Let's do this. Let's play these games and cause some fitna between the Rasul and his other wife because we got jealous. Allah is sitting up telling the Rasul about these individuals that surround him. Why? Because Allah see them, Allah hear them, and Allah know what they own. And He know what their intentions is. But to some particular people, that's impossible. Oh, there you go. You think you know something. You attributing Allah hearing sounds. No, I know what Allah said in the Quran. I know that Allah is telling the Rasul about conversations he's hearing from the people that's around the Rasul. He put the Rasul on point a numerous amount of times in the Quran. He said, the people, they're going to come and ask you about this. They're going to come and ask you about drink, intoxicants, and gambling. When they come ask you, you tell them this. When they came and asked them, Allah even know what's in their heart. But to some people, you can't attribute the hearing of sounds to Allah, because that would mean he had to have an eardrum. Yeah, you keep on with that. you keep on with it. You a denier. You got to deny what Allah is saying. Oh, see, y'all don't understand. You trying to take it as a literal hearing. Well, you can't take that as literal. You can't take none of that stuff in the Quran as literal. Man, this ain't the Bible. This ain't no fables. This ain't tales and fable. So you trying to take it literal. Allah didn't literally hear her. Okay. You keep on. Got some good news for you. Allah gonna catch up with you. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.